Hi, happy Tuesday. I'm going to be reading chapter 3, Storm Warning. Ranger ran up to the girl, but she barely looked at him. Nana, she called. She ran to the house next door and pounded the door. Ranger followed her. A man on a bicycle called from the street. They left town yesterday. Oh, Claire whirled around so fast she almost tripped over Ranger. Have you seen my grandmother? She asked the man and held out a warm-up jacket. Nana left this. She wanders sometimes. We're supposed to be leaving. Haven't seen her, but I'll take a lap and let you know if I do, the man said. Thank you, I have to find her, Claire said, as she rode off. Find, Ranger barked. That was the command Luke and Dad used in training sessions. Luke would run and hide in the woods. Dad would say, Are you ready, boy? Go find Luke. Find him. Ranger would take off, sniffing the air and the ground until he tracked Luke's scent to wherever he was hiding. Ranger sniffed the jacket in the girl's hands. It let another person's scent too, maybe the Nana person. Ranger barked again. That's my grandmother's jacket, the girl said. Do you smell her? I have to find her. Find. Ranger walked down the sidewalk. The air smelled of rain and dirt and sawdust. Ranger could smell the girl and the man on the bike, but no Nana smell, not yet. Ranger circled and the girl followed him back toward her house. There, the Nana smell. Ranger followed the scent trail down the block to a grassy yard. The Nana scent was getting stronger. Where are you going? Claire stepped around some tomato plants in a garden. This is where Nana's friend Ruth lives, but she's gone. Ranger ran up the porch steps and pawed at an old screen door on the other side. Nana sat quietly on an old sofa. Nana! Claire opened the door and rushed in. What are you doing? Nana looked confused. I'm waiting for Ruth. We have basketball today. There's no practice because of the storm, Claire said. Ruth is on her way to Baton Rouge. We're going to Houston as soon as Daddy gets home. Come on. Claire walked her grandmother home. When she got to the door, she looked down at Ranger. Whose dog are you? She lifted the first aid kit from around his neck. Are you with the hurricane rescue people? Claire looked up and down the empty street. You can't stay out in the storm. She held open the door. Come on. Ranger followed her inside. The house was cozy, but the wind had a dangerous sound. Ranger settled on a throw rug while Claire checked her phone. There was still no word from her father. She tried calling him, but got his voicemail. Dad, it's me, Claire said. Is everything all right? Because it's been a really long time, and I hope you're on your way home. Call me, please. I'll keep getting things ready. Ranger followed Claire to the kitchen. He sat by the stove while she finished filling the cooler. At 5 o'clock, it started to rain harder. Claire called her father again. This time, the call didn't even go through. She heated up leftovers for supper. She turned on the radio, but reports of traffic jams and gas shortages made her stomach hurt. By 9 o'clock, the rain was coming sideways in sheets, battering the windows. Claire's stomach felt all tied up in knots. Where was her father? She peered out the front window. There wasn't a single car on the street. Where was he? What if he'd run out of gas? What if he was stranded somewhere? Nana was in her bedroom listening to music. Claire didn't want to worry or confuse her anymore. She'd simply let Nana know the plan had changed. They would stay in New Orleans after all. Nana would be happy about that. So here she is talking to Ranger. Claire made a mental list of all the things her parents did to prepare for hurricanes. She gathered flashlights, batteries. She found the family's folder of important papers and put it in a big plastic bin with their photo albums. Ranger didn't know how to help, so he followed Claire around. She seemed happy to have company as she lugged the bin up the attic. She brought Ranger's first aid kit too. It might come in handy during the storm. Finally, Claire collapsed on the couch. Wind shook the windows and rain pounded the roof. It was almost 11 o'clock. Nana had gone to sleep a long time ago, but Claire was afraid to go to bed. What if Nana wandered out into the storm? Claire curled up on the sofa. Ranger jumped up next to her. She wrapped an arm around him and closed her eyes, but she couldn't stop thinking about her father out there somewhere in the rain and the wind. She kept imagining him in the other storm a long time ago, trapped in the attic as water rose up around him. The axe! Claire sat up. She reached over to turn on the light, but the power was out. She grabbed a flashlight and ran to the back porch. Her sneakers crunched on broken glass as soon as she stepped out of the kitchen. The storm had blown out 2 windows. Rain whipped in from the darkness so hard it felt like sand against her face. She grabbed the axe from the corner by her father's toolbox, ran inside, and bounded up the stairs to the attic. She leaned the axe against the plastic bin. Then she went down and stretched out on the couch with Ranger beside her. All night long, Claire tossed and turned, listening to the pounding rain. Every time she started to doze off, wind shook the house, and she jerked awake. What could have happened to her father? Wherever was he? Claire hoped he'd found shelter. Please let him be safe, she prayed. Please let him come home soon. Finally, the sky outside grew light again. It was still raining, but the wind had quieted. Claire patted Ranger's head. Maybe the worst is over, she said. There was an inch or so of water in the living room. They'd have to clean up when Dad got home. Maybe he was on his way now that the storm had let up. Claire sloshed to the front door, unbolted it, opened it, and peeked outside. It looked as if a giant had stomped through her neighborhood. The storm snapped trees and scattered roofing everywhere. But the lower Ninth Ward had survived, like always. Ranger stood beside her, sniffing the wet morning air. It smelled of rain and gasoline and mud. Claire was about to close the door when she heard a loud boom. Then there was a roaring, rushing sound. Soon, waves of water were surging down the street. It could only mean one thing. "Get upstairs, Nana," Claire shouted. The levee broke. And this is a true story. This really did happen. So stay tuned for tomorrow to hear what happens in Katrina. Bye.